Have you ever smoked one for a homie who couldn't smoke one anymore? Or maybe you hotboxed a vehicle outside a funeral? Well, turns out you're part of like a 3,000-year-old legacy. There is a region of far west China called the Pamirs Plateau. And in that area, there is a cemetery. It's become an archaeological dig that's come up with some very interesting evidence. So what they found dates back to like 900 to 600 BCE. So we're talking about like 1,000 years before the Common Era. What they found in this dig site, in the cemetery, which I'm not going to try to pronounce, it's right there. But what's interesting is what they found in the cemetery, which were wooden braziers that had been scorched with stones. Yeah, so after doing some chemical analysis on the stones and on the wood, they're found to have high concentrations of THC. So the theory goes like this. You have a group of mourners in some kind of closed area. You take one of these wooden braziers, which I mean even looks like it has handles on it, right? You fill it with red hot stones and then you sprinkle cannabis flower on top. And then you inhale those fumes. What I find interesting is that vaporization of cannabinoids using indirect heat, like hot stones, make the cannabinoids far more effective than using direct combustion. So, I mean, what that tells me is that it was intentional, that this was for like ritual or medicinal or some kind of reason. Now, like this on its own, I don't find particularly interesting. In fact, if you search early cannabis on Google, this is probably the first thing that you're gonna see. And this region of Asia, I guess, or Central Asia, which also butts into areas like Kurdistan and Afghanistan, areas like that, is that this is all part of the Hindu Kush area. So to say that early cannabis was discovered in this area is not that odd either. Like, what's the point of this, right? Like, remember when I asked you to think about a time when maybe tragedy had touched your life? What you felt then and how any of us feel when something like that happens, it's never changed. In fact, that's part of being human. So if you can find yourself empathizing with ancient peoples and seeing yourself as not so different, then maybe we can do the same for the people around us. I guess what I'm saying is if we can empathize with ancient peoples, we can empathize with each other right now. These are the times that try one's soul. And it could go a long way if we can be good to each other.